I was overweight and looked terrible, but AIDS helped me lose 46 pounds.
Hey guys, welcome back into the channel. Thank you so much for joining me as always. My name is Jim, and I'm here to share with you a pretty slick little flashlight. As a matter of fact, it is one of my EDC flashlights, one of the lights that I carry more than any other light that I have. And it's because of a number of factors, and of course we'll go through them as the review progresses. This is the Reylight LANapple in titanium with the splash anodizing pattern. Your packaging is going to include the clear plastic box, a Reylight sticker, and two all-important additional O-ring gaskets. I think that pretty much covers it. Yep. Oh, you'll also be receiving the battery in there as well, which is going to be a 14500 battery, which has become a favorite battery size of mine as of late. Now, I've always been an 18650 kind of guy, and I've never felt particularly burdened by them. But once I started carrying a few different 14500 size lights, which for those that are newer to the light game, is a AA size battery. The main difference being this is a lithium ion rechargeable that gives you a lot more power output. So while a lot of these lights are dual fuel where you could run a 14500 or a AA, and I'm not 100% certain that you can run a AA in here, I will double check and I'll put a note up on the screen. The 14500 is always going to be the most powerful. So, for instance, this light here is a maximum 600 lumen light. The only way to get the full 600 lumens is, of course, with that 14500. If this were to accept a AA battery, you probably wouldn't get more than 350, 400 lumens, probably at the highest, out of this light as a result. Now, the LANapple is a cross between the popular models, the Lan and the Pineapple. So you actually have a mixture of the two. You have the head of the Lan and basically the body of the Pineapple. Now the LANapple uses a reverse clicky. So that means you fully click to go on or off. And then to step through the modes, you do half clicks. So I have it on moonlight mode right here, then low, medium, high. Now you have 4 different groups, and I just named off low, medium, high just because I'm used to saying that, but you have 4 different mode groups that you can use. You have group 1, which is moonlight. Then you can half press it again to get to 2% power, half press again for 20% power, half press again for 100% power, which is the 600 lumens. Then you have group 2, which is what I have mine set to. So I can have moonlight, then I have 10%, then 40%. I like that bigger jump for my medium light, and then 100%. Then there's group 3, which is moonlight, 2%, 10%, and 50%. Then there's group 4, moonlight, 50%, 100%, strobe, and SOS. Now, you can program your light to use any of those modes that you want, and I'll discuss a little bit later on how to do it. Now, I'm not going to do it step by step on my light because I'm going to be honest with you, The reverse clickies are a little tough for me because every time you got to do a multiple succession of half presses, I end up fully clicking and screwing the whole thing up. And I don't want to have to reprogram my light. But I will talk you through it, and hopefully that will help you. Now, the reasons I love this light are, number one, the size. So it's very compact, being 3.8 inches long, and it's very slim, even at the head, where the head gets much, much larger. It's 0.8 of an inch, 0.8 inches at the head diameter. But it's still super easy to carry in your pocket. And that could be dress pants, it could be jeans, it could be skinny jeans, it could be shorts, cargo shorts, tighter shorts, whatever. This works with every kind of pocket I have found. Well, I wouldn't know if it fits in skinny jeans because I don't wear them. But it's so slim, I would have to venture the guess that yes, it would. It's very lightweight. It's very easy to carry. It's a great size, and I don't feel like I'm sacrificing power because to me, 600 lumens is just about the perfect amount of light for running around outdoors and having to look around. Now, I've mentioned this many, many times before in other videos where I've shown you larger lights that had tremendously more power, and they may have had a medium or a high that was at 600, 650 lumens, and I would always stop and say, that's, to me, one of my sweet spots. I love 6 to 650. It's a really good, thoroughly useful light without being blindingly bright or sucking up too much battery. It's just great. So I'm not just saying it just because that's the maximum output of this one. You can watch many of my other light reviews and hear me say the same thing. Let's talk about the specs very quickly here, and then we'll take a nice close-up look at the beauty of the light because I think it's gorgeous. Here we go. So the LED being used inside is the XPL high in 6000K temperatures. So it is a very bright white, getting into blue. Maximum output of 600 lumens. The body and head material are titanium. The lens that you have over the LED here is going to be anti-reflective coated. And then you have a deep dish. Let me kind of zoom in just a little bit here. You have a deep dish dimpled reflector. So that means you're going to get a little bit of throw, but it's going to be a lot more in the flood because of the dimpled reflector. It's going to be bouncing the light around a lot more before it makes its way out. It is capable of tail standing because you do have the flat E-switch. As mentioned before, the dimensions again are 3.8 inches by 0.8 inches in diameter. And for those of you that like to use tritium, you have a tritium slot in the tail E-switch, which I am going to be doing. I'll be putting mine in there very, very shortly. And there are more trit slots right up here in the head. So you can really doll this up. Now, for me, I don't want to do it in the head because I think that there's already a lot going on. The colors are already pretty distracting in the pattern that we've got here on the splash anodized titanium. But if this were the standard titanium or one of the aluminum ones, because I think the aluminum ones are like $40, super inexpensive, and that's the beauty of Reylight, I would probably put the trit in these slots. So you have 1, 2, 3. You have 3 trit slots, and then you have 3 milled areas here like scallops. Those are not slots, just these right here. Isn't that gorgeous? It's a beautiful light in my opinion. And the switch feels really, really nice. It's a positive detent on that click. And I like how it feels in the hand too. The whole thing with the frag in the body, the way the head flares out, the small areas that are flat spots on the tail cap to keep it from rolling very easily. because you don't have to use the pocket clip if you don't want to. You can simply unscrew this, pull the pocket clip off, and there is a small ring that you can drop in there. And then voila, you can carry it with or without clip. Personally, I am generally partial to lights with clips. That way it's a bit more versatile and it's a bit more convenient. Now, I promised I would talk to you about the programming, and this is the way it is, as I understand it, for all Ray lights. So you turn on your light, doesn't matter what setting it's in, and then you click 8 times. And then you stop because the light is going to blink once, then it's going to strobe, then it's going to blink twice, then it's going to strobe, then it's going to blink 3 times, then it's going to strobe. And then after you get to the point of 5 blinks and a strobe, the sequence is going to repeat. So there is a lot to memorize here. That's why I'm not going to do it here on camera. So if you want to select your modes, when it goes to 1 blink, that is your mode selection. When you get into that area, you'll get to the 1 single blink, and then you do your press. Not a full press, it's a half press. And that's going to take you into mode 1, which again was 2%, 20%, 100%. On this, if you let it go to the second blink, you'll be in mode 2, which will be moonlight, 10, 40, 100. If you let it go to the third blink, that's mode 3. Moonlight, 2, 10, 50%. Which I don't know why anybody would choose that. You don't get your full 100% out of it no matter what you do. And then you have the fourth blink. I'm going to let you guess. Yes, that's mode number 4. Moonlight, 50, 100, strobe, and SOS. Now, you can let it go through, and then it repeats. If you press the E switch anytime during any blink, you'll select that mode group. 2 blinks lets you select memory on or off. By default, it's off. And it's weird because generally I like to use memory on almost all of my lights. But on my smaller ones, like this and my Pineapple Mini, because when I reach for one of these, I'm going to be doing generally smaller tasks or indoor tasks or something. So I'm perfectly fine with it starting off in moonlight mode. And then if I decide I want more light, then I'll just cycle through and I'll give myself more light. So I leave my memory off on my LANapple and my Pineapple Mini. If you let it get to 3 blinks after that cycle, it will turn moonlight mode on or off. As you saw on my light. Come on now. I have moonlight mode set. Because again, I use moonlight a lot. 4 blinks is your mode order, where you can go from low, medium to high, or high, medium, low. So you can reverse the order that you're going into. So you can go, if you're on group 1, moonlight, whether it's there or not, 2, 20, 100, or start off at 100, then 22, and then moonlight. You can have it running backwards if you want. Now, if you let it cycle through and get all the way to 5 blinks, you press the button during the 5 blinks or during the strobe, and you're going back to factory reset. No matter how you're using your light, no matter what mode it's in, right now I have it in moonlight. If I double press, again, I'm not clicking, okay, I'm just pressing. Double press will always take you to turbo and take you to your maximum 600 lumens. So that is it in a nutshell. And I know that it would have been a lot better for you if I had shown you me doing it on the light. But as I mentioned before, I really don't like programming these lights. I don't like programming any lights, to be honest with you, but some are easier than others. And for me, a reverse clicky, it's just a little bit hard when I'm in a hurry to catch things on time to not overpress. And that's what messes me up every single time. Anyway, that's my quick look at the Reylight LANapple, one of my favorite lights that I've ever owned and something that I enjoy carrying on me on a daily basis, which I have a lot of cool EDC items, but they're not all actually EDC as far as everyday carry. They're just constant carries. This is one more times than not that I have in my pocket. Now let's take a quick look at the beam shots here in the studio, and then we're going to get outside in the dark and see how she performs. Okay, let's take a good look at it. Here it is in my hand. Got to work on the focus here. Okay, moonlight. And there is what I'm just going to simply call low because it's easier. Now you'll see that you have a very, very soft hot spot, and it jumps right out into the spill. There's no cutoff, there's no ring. It just softly spills out. Then you've got a strong cutoff at the edge of the spill. And there it is on high. That might be a little bit overwhelming for the camera. That's why I love this light. It's got a beautiful beam pattern, very, very useful. And it's a pretty simple light to use. Now let's get it outside, see how it works in the dark. See, here we are on moonlight. There's your low. Bumping it up again. Camera refuses to focus. That's a really nice beam.